of setting up a REST API, and it's been based on this great advice over here from this blog about setting up Node and Express and doing a few things to handle gets and even a post. And over here, if we look at Nitrous, we can see I've got a Node.js container, and when I go into it, I can see some of the code that is coming from this great example about handling these quotes on the server so that GET requests can either get all of the quotes or get a random quote from the array or get a specific quote from the array, and even post a quote. We'll come and take a look at that later. But for right now, I just want to show you how to run this on the server. And I can say down here that I want to run Node, and I want to run my little app. And I'll say app.js and hit enter, and it looks like, oh, okay, this is supposed to be now listening on this port, which is port 3000. And so if I say, well, I want to preview what's on port 3000, it actually shows for me a list of all of those quotes. Now, let's just copy this over into this browser window over here so that we can sort of separate the client and the server, one from the other. So in this window over here, I'm going to be looking at my code a little bit, and I can see that what I've done in this deviates from the example from the blog a little bit, is that I'm using the console. I'm actually writing out to the console down here when I get requests. So for example, if I were to reload this, that's the get request, and it shows up down here that I've had a simple get request. But if I actually add on to that request up here in this browser window, sorry, I've done this quite a few times, so it's showing up, but I say I want to get a random quote. Well, there it is. It's reporting down here on the server. So this side is the server. This side is the client. It's reporting down here on the server that that's the kind of request I had. And I'm actually going to put in here now I want to get, let's see, if Audrey is the first one, then I actually have to put index 0. I can get the Audrey Hepburn quote. So you can see a little bit of how the back-end server is supporting that front end over here. And if I say, if I'm looking at this window, this browser window, and I want to look at developer tools, I can see that, gee, there's nothing coming out on the console here. This is the console log reporting here. Note that the console.log in this case is reporting over to our server console and not our client console. So I can grab a different quote and print it out there. And nothing's happening on my console log. So we got a little bit of an idea here, at least the beginnings of, this is the client side, and here I am looking at the code that's running on the server, and my server is responding to the request from the client.